Hi everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about headaches. So headaches are no fun. People get them for all kinds of reasons. If you've had a problem with headaches and you've never spoken to your doctor about them, I would do that. I would check in and make sure that you're taking good care of yourself and you're being kind to yourself. Okay, so make sure and check in with your doctor if you haven't already. If you already know that this is a problem and you've been checked before, then this is a great place to get some simple tips on management. Okay, so the most common headaches are from muscle tension or tension headaches, neck headaches, sinus headaches from different reasons that we might have sinus pressure, ocular headaches, which is from the eye strain. So that can be too much time in the computer, wrong glasses, etc. And just emotional stress. Emotional stress can obviously lead to muscle stress, so all of those things can overlap quite a bit. There's others, of course, like dietary food triggers, but I'm going to focus on the first few. So tension headaches or neck headaches often start at the base of the skull. So back here, this is the occiput. The base of my skull is called my occiput. There's a nerve, there's one on each side, two nerves called the suboccipital nerve. It comes out off of the spine and splits off a couple different directions, but it passes through some of these little muscles at the back of the skull, and then it innervates the skull, the forehead, and the eye socket. So those of you who have had those type of headaches, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you can feel that, right? So when you're dealing with these headaches, and some people feel them more here, some people feel it progress to this, start by working on whatever is causing that neck tension, right? So it might be postural, we'll talk about that, but I also just want to give you some quick relief, right? So if you wait too long and it's a full-blown headache, I know I've been there too. Sometimes it's just too late and there's not much you can do. So you really want to try to recognize your triggers and nip them in the bud. A great tool, whether it's early or it's already happening, is ice right at the base of the skull. So a nice, soft, small ice pack is great. I would do this lying down or sitting down, leaning against something, but I just want to be able to show you. But you really want to get that ice pack up at the base of the skull. So I'm really getting up, kind of overlapping the hairline where the neck attaches to the skull. And you can shift off to one side if you need it more on one side than the other. So that's a great tool. The ice is actually a good tool for sinus headaches too. So if you're having sinus pressure, literally placing the ice pack against your sinuses. So I can't talk for a second, but I guess I can talk, but I'll put it right on the sinuses. And you can hold it there for a few seconds and move it around and use that in a few different places. So the ice kind of opens things up a little bit. You'll feel it sort of open up, okay? So that's a couple different ways to use ice. Like I said, if I was gonna do this for my neck, I would be lying down or leaning back with support so that my head is supported, okay? So I'm gonna put this down. So if we're talking back to the tension headaches, okay, so if we're talking about neck tension, some of the things that cause neck tension is postural stress. Okay, so you guys know I'm a physical therapist and a yoga teacher. It's like a double whammy, right? So if we're spending too much time hunched over, we're creating all this tension here. So you really want to do things to keep your chest open and keep your shoulders relaxed, not pulling them back, but doing things that encourage you to have a lifted open chest and less of this shortening of your neck by scrunching your shoulders up. So I'm not going to go through the whole explanation, but if you look on the videos, I've got a category for neck relief. There's a couple things in there for passive chest opening, which are great. So it might be something like hooking a yoga strap or a belt from a bathrobe or a jump rope to something and just practicing breathing, reaching down through the arms. So I'm really focusing on reaching down so my shoulders go away from the ears and then just leaning in a little bit. Okay, so again, I would encourage you to go and watch those videos in the neck relief section because I go through the explanations thoroughly about how to not just make it like a doorway stretch where most people end up leaning in and their shoulders are scrunching up. So you'll feel the stretch here, but you're not doing your neck any favors, and you really want to keep that length in the neck. So I would definitely work on those types of things, as well as working on mobility of your upper back. So those, again, are all in that other category. Very specific to neck tension headaches also is a simple trick that I'm going to show you. So if you were to come into the clinic, one of the things I might do is take my hands and place them like this, and you would be on the table, and I'd put my hands under your head and my fingers would be right at the back of your neck so that I could kind of traction that area a little bit and put a little pressure there. So you can sort of do that to yourself like this. So lie down. I'm putting a little, we'll call this my pillow, the little blue blanket here, the light blue blanket. Because if you're lying down and your head's tipped way back, you're going to be in an awkward position to begin with. So just make sure you've got a little bit of head support. Take a hand towel. You could even use a yoga strap, but a towel's a little nicer actually. And put it underneath the back of your neck. Okay? So it's underneath my neck, kind of right in the curve. And then I take the towel and I tug on it parallel to the floor. So I'm not lifting up, right? I start to tug on it so it's sliding up the back of my skull. Sorry, I have earrings on. That wasn't smart. So I tug on it so it slides up the back of my skull so it catches right at that ridge where the occiput and the neck meet. So I'm getting a little traction, and then I just let go. You can put your hands here, you can lay them out, but I created a little bit of lengthening by pulling on the towel, and then when I let go, it's this little lump that's right across the base of my skull, and I'm getting pressure there from the towel, which helps to relieve tension. So I can lie like that for a while. If I feel like I want more, I can start over and bring it back down. Relax my neck, slide it up till it catches the back of my skull. You kind of have to be slow and relax and breathe. And then I let go and I can just lie here. So I'm getting a little pressure from the roll right across the base of my skull where those muscles attach. If you can get them to let go a little bit, you might get some headache relief, even if it's already started, and for sure you can work on prevention. Okay, so that's a little trick that you can do. So that's what I would look at for neck tension, some other, tension headaches. Some other things would be passive chest opening, like I said. So I have this pillow. You can use a folded up towel. And again, this is like thoroughly explained and demonstrated on those other videos, but it would look like this. Oops. You just lie down so that you have something between the shoulder blades and a little pillow for your head. So it's very relaxing because with that lift of that pillow kind of going up and down along my spine, my chest is more open and I can relax. So you may want more height under your head. Go for comfort, especially when you're trying to get rid of a headache. So I would play with the strap, lying on the folded blanket or a pillow like I have if you have one, and your self-traction. And then we talked about the ice, of course. Okay, so if you're not sure what kind of headache you have, I would do all of this stuff. I would just try it and see what works. So you could try some things to release the tension in the back of the neck. You could try some ice to your sinuses. You can steam your sinuses. Or, even a good hot shower, because if you notice that something like that relieves the tension, it might give you a clue that the sinuses are a little bit to blame. So Then, if there's an underlying cause, again, talk to the doctor, but otherwise, steaming your sinuses, icing them from the outside, that might help. And eye headaches or ocular headaches. So if you know that you need new glasses, or if you have a problem with your computer setup and you know that you're straining, so if you're straining doing this kind of a thing, see what I'm doing to my neck? So if I have to go like this to look at my computer, I am shortening that area, and then I end up giving myself a neck tension headache. Okay, so there's, again, so much overlap. So just make sure you've got the right glasses, the right distance from your computer, and then, of course, minimizing screen time, whether it's phone, computer, any device. So if you're doing a lot of phone time, guess what we're doing? We're doing this all the time. So you can end up setting off a neck tension headache by too much device time, and then you're doubling up on creating more eye strain too. So trying to look more at prevention can be really powerful, but I wanted you to have a couple simple tips for, oh, I'm getting a headache, what should I do? And then the other one that I mentioned was emotional stress, right? So I think those are sometimes, if you have a lot going on, put everything down, get outside, go somewhere quiet, go for a 10-minute walk. It doesn't have to be a full-on hard workout, but try to pull away from your stresses, get some fresh air, go somewhere green, where, it's such a calming color. So if there's a quiet park near you where you can go for a little walk, just to try to down train your system a little bit before things get out of hand. And again, in the neck relief category, there's a couple of seated forward bends with head support that are really, really good for headaches. So that would look like this. There's several versions, but the action of doing a seated forward bend and resting your forehead onto something is very calming to the brain. So that can be very helpful for headaches too. So there's floor versions, there's chair versions. Here would be one of the chair versions. Something as simple as just coming forward and resting your head. So by resting my forehead down, I start to calm myself down. It makes you very introspective. So there's a lot of power in that. So I would take a look at all of those things. Neck tension headaches, sinus headaches, eye headaches, those are the three biggies, and then emotional stress. So please browse through the other videos, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because I will keep adding topics. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful.